Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another weekly training review. This week I think I'll dub it as a whole lot of sweet spot because there was just every day was packed with sweet spot work. Not a lot of recovery. Felt a little tired by the end, but it's kind of repetitive at this point. We have, let's see, 2 more weeks until our rest week. So the workouts are slowly getting more and more intense, and as far as that, just a little bit longer, a little bit more time in the zone, and etc. And as well as the week, I'd like to talk to you about another piece of software that I use. It's called an Intervals.ICU. It's actually a website that you can just connect your Strava to, and to me it gives me a lot cleaner interface of just analyzing my workouts. So Trainer Calendar is really good, and let's take one workout. Their analysis tool is very good, but I don't really like it all that much. This lab, all this data down here, I don't particularly like it, or I don't really use it as much. It does offer a lot, like normalized power, heart rate, etc., which is fine, but I just like the interface of the Intervals.ICU better, and I will show you why. So this was a Tuna Bora, just quickly, I'll go into more in depth into this, but this was a Tuesday workout. So if we go to past week, Tuesday, so Intervals puts your current week at the top and then everything else is at the bottom, and we find the workout, and I named it differently in Strava, but this is the workout, and now you can see the interface, and it's a lot cleaner where you can see the graph, and then this software or website identifies the intervals automatically, so I kind of know what it was. I don't have to search for it. It says 6 minutes 59, so this workout was actually 5 by 7 minutes sweet spot. And here, as I scroll with my mouse, I can see the power, 30 seconds power, heart rate, and you can add more stuff to this. I need to figure out how, but I'm pretty sure you can. I think here we go, charts, fields. So it's very customizable. This is all stock though. I did not change any of this. I started using this last year, but it's actually very powerful utility for workout analysis. So now that being out of the way, let's go back to the week. So we had, similar to last week, we had sweet spot Tuesday, we had zone 2 Wednesday, sweet spot Thursday, and then Friday I think I did another zone 2, and then Saturday, Sunday was both sweet spot work. With Saturday was supposed to be over-under sweet spot VO2, but as I said before, I try to cut the VO2. I don't want to go into that zone unless I necessarily have to. So I'll use intervals for my breakdown of this week, and let me know how you guys like it, and if it's any better. But anyway, this is the Tuesday sweet spot workout. We had 5 by 7 minutes. I did notice here on interval number 3 and interval number 5, my heart rate started being weird. I think my battery was dying, so I replaced the battery, and after that we had no issues. But just ignore the heart rate data here and here, but we can see, and even the first one, honestly. But as we can see, from what I was saying in the weeks prior, I wanted my workouts and my heart rate to go down for the sweet spot, and by the looks of it here, we have 7 minutes, wherever the heart rate was potentially working. So piece number 2 and number 4, we are sub 170 heart rate at 370 watts, which is where I want to be. For 370, 165 to 170 is where I want to be. So with this workout, I'm pretty happy with. Let's go back. And then the other workout was just, again, zone 2, as I mentioned before. There were some comments saying that I should probably do more of those, and I do. And as you can see as well on the intervals here, I just go intervals, it's Intervals.ICU. On the left side you can see totals for the week. so I can see zone 1, zone 2, how many hours I spent in each zone. So zone 2 is a little bit more than sweet spot for me, but I do spend a lot of time in zone 2 to 4, 4 being threshold, I believe. Yeah, most in sweet spot, obviously. And zone 1, well, zone 1 mostly is my junk miles. You know, it takes me about 20 minutes to get to the road where I can do my intervals, so you know that's gonna be counted as it is. But I just see zone 1 as junk usually, or cool down, so I'd say 50-50 here. So 50% cool down, so I'd say 2.5 to 2 hours and 40 minutes of just cool down in zone 1, and then other is just junk miles. But we can just quickly check this. Right here I had a turn. I had to go there, but what happened? Here I was saying good things about about this. Let's go back into it. So looks like 260 watts and 140 heart rate, zone 2, fine, just normal stuff. I might, you know, not talk too much about it. Then Wednesday were both zone 2 rides. Nothing much, it's just basically the same. As you can see, 247, 248, so 250 watts per ride. Heart rate, average heart rate's up 140, which is great. Thursday we had 7 by 6 minutes of sweet spot, and looks like heart rates in general are better, are definitely where I want to see them. As you remember, maybe the week 1 of this review we had heart rates up in 180, actually 190 by the end of the first piece, so this is looking great here. I'm really liking this interface, by the way. Yeah, if you guys want to check it out, all you have to do is just connect this with your Strava, and it's kind of populate everything for you. I believe breaks here were about a minute breaks between each. I actually did this on a trainer. I did this workout indoors, I remember now, and I took a little bit of more longer break before the last one. But yeah, so even for the trainer, pretty good heart rate. I did this on my time trial bike. I try to stay on my time trial bike. You know, I tried to transition more to my time trial bike. Last week was on my road bike or my commuter bike. This week I went back to my time trial bike, so I'm kind of switching in and out. I'm not noticing any difference in power and heart rate, etc. between the bikes, so that's good. I am using 175 cranks on my road bike, which I would like to go down to 170s. Once I end up building my LA Sprint, I think I'm going to use 170s there, and I might just switch cranks until I get the same length for my TT bike. That being said, my TT bike, I had an issue where one of the extension aero bars, the screw is stripped, so I cannot really tighten it all the way, so it's loose. So I'm gonna have to get a new screw so I can actually make it tight. So this week again I'm back on my commuter bike, which is, you know, probably switching you know, in and out like that is not great, but it is what it is so far. Friday again we had 2 zone 2 rides. I'm not gonna go too much into it. Saturday we had sweet spot again, and I can just go back to trainer and kind of see what it was. The workout was Mount Hayes, and I can find it and show you guys what the workout actually is. I think it was -3. So 4 by 12 minutes at 85 to 90% FTP. So 4 by 12 minutes of sweet spot. And as you know, where I ride, I cannot get 12 minutes in, so I get about 6 minutes, 7 minutes total, and then I have to quickly spin and go back. So the Intervals.ICU actually breaks down this into 2 split intervals, but you can just treat it as one. So it looks like 355 watts for the first interval, 164 heart rate, I would say max. Well, actually average of the second one. So I'll average this to 163, 62 heart rate. It's pretty good. Second piece, 12 minutes. This actually captured the whole piece. Yeah, 163 heart rate, really good. 358 watts. Piece number 3, 370. As you saw here, the workout kind of steps. It's not. Yeah, it work kind of steps up. 340, 350, 360, 360. I did end up going a little bit harder, you know, instead of 360 I went to 370 watts on my third piece. And then for my fourth piece I averaged about 355 and the heart rate was pretty good. So really happy, in general really happy. I think the shape is definitely coming back, so you know, it's normal to overreact and overthink stuff, and I know that, you know, I took some time off. Obviously I took a week off, and coming back, you know, it just felt like I'm at a step zero, but obviously I wasn't, and it really takes literally 2 weeks and I'm back where I was. So really happy with this. I'm not sure where I am as far as like zone 5-6, because I don't really push into those yet, but I don't think there will be any, you know, any issue with those as well, you know, once I start going there. But I don't think I'm gonna go there until probably March next year. There's really no reason. That being said, I am racing. I'm gonna race in about 2 weeks. There is a time trial I'm gonna do, so I might live stream that, so stay tuned. I might live stream it on Twitch though. And then this is Sunday. Sunday was 5x10 minute sweet spot. We can take a look at trainer road. I'm pretty sure I remember it correctly. Let's see. Antelope, yeah. Antelope is 5x10 minutes, but I'll show you guys what exactly it is. I'll just say this one. 5x10 minutes, and it's all sweet spot, so. And it looks like it steps up and down. I believe I just did it all the same. So yeah, so first one I did 360 watts. Heart rate was 160, very good. And then as we go, it was going a little bit higher, but overall, I know I remember this workout being very tiring on my legs. Heart rate was good. It didn't feel terrible, you know, as far as like aerobic systems, but I do remember my legs being tired after this. So I think 2 days in a row of pretty long sweet spot intervals does take a toll, and you know, Monday being off day is really beneficial for me. But yeah, definitely two long sweet spot days in a row is not ideal. And maybe, you know, if you do plan to do this, take a break. You know, if you have a long sweet spot day, take a zone 2 in between and then do another sweet spot day. Don't just, you know, stack it up, because you might burn out, you know, it's or you might not. But I just feel like if I kept doing this in a row and I didn't have any zone 2 in breaks in between, I would definitely burn out a little bit too much. At this point I feel like I have a really good balance between rest and work, where it's really not affecting me as much or as fast. I think at some point I will need some off again, but for now I'm doing great. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think about Intervals.ICU. I really think it's a very good utility. Let me see. You can see your activities. A cool thing is you can see your fitness chart here. This is where I took my rest week as I went up to the transition zone. But I'm slowly going back to the optimal training zone, which is where you want to be ideally. I'm not really sure. They do say here it's a 40-day exponentially weighted moving average of your training, blah blah blah. I don't know exactly how this works, but you want to be right in the optimal training zone. So that's what I'm going to be shooting for. I was there for a long time, and then I just kind of, as the racing season started, I didn't really have to, but I was taking more rest days kind of in between of my workouts, because my workouts were mostly VO2 and then rest. So I kind of went up to this fresh transition zone, and I'll be honest, I didn't really feel fresh at this point, so I'm gonna have to go back and really figure out what happened there and how I could maybe rest better. Maybe I just don't react as well to so much intensity breaking up by zone 1. Maybe I just need something in between to feel a little bit more fresh, or maybe less of that top end power work. But I'll figure it out as I go, you know, throughout this process. But slowly we're touching the optimal now. I think a couple more weeks of this sweet spot, I'll go back to the clearly being in the optimal zone. Another cool thing here is you can see your power chart, kind of how, you know, I never did a full-on hour-long FTP test, so I don't know if this is correct or how long I can hold stuff, but yeah, you know, it's a power chart. You've seen this many times. But what I like about this is it shows you your power profile compared to a lot of people. You know, I can select under 40 or 22 to 29. So under 40 is, you know, has a bigger pool of people, so you can kind of see where you stack up with your, this is watts per kilo, but you can change this to be raw watts, and then you can kind of, you know, just kind of see where you stack up. I think that's pretty cool. Obviously my looks like my 1 minute power is not not up to par with my rest, but you know, as again, I never really tested this, so maybe I can just try and go all out for a minute, see what happens. But yeah, cool stuff here. And then totals, you can see kind of what you did over the whole year. You can select your date range here, and then just look at your total time zones. So it looks like my sweet spot is 41 hours this year. My VO2 is 13 hours, threshold is 38 hours, etc. So cool stuff. This is again all pulled in from your Strava, so it's really not, you don't really have to do anything. Just make sure your Strava files are, you know, correct, and you don't have any other. I know when I did this, I had a lot of unnecessary Garmin files pulled in where if I was Zwifting, I would let Zwift upload to Strava and Garmin upload to Strava, and I would, you know, obviously I would record with both, because the only way for Garmin to calculate your metrics is if you record it with your Garmin device. So I had duplicates, a lot of duplicates to Strava. So what I did is I deleted all those duplicate files, and now this is all correct. So I like this place where I can see all of my workouts for the year or 2 years or however many long of a time I want to see. I can kind of see this. And another cool thing is, I forgot to say, is it gives you an estimate FTP. So this isn't an FTP test, but the way Intervals works is it's gonna look at, I believe they do say somewhere, but it's gonna look at a couple of, here we go. It requires one maximal effort between 180 seconds to 3 minutes, and that way, you know, they'll take your, you know, highest power for any amount in between that time zone or time frame, sorry, and they're gonna calculate your estimated FTP based on that. It's a weird thing. It doesn't really make sense, or like it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't, you wouldn't think that it's close to your FTP, but you know, so far every time I did my RAM test, my estimated FTP is basically bang on. You know, my last RAM test was 401 watts. This says 403. My assumption right now is that I'm closer to 390, just, you know, kind of seeing how I feel, seeing that I really wasn't going over 400 that much in the past month. So anyway, it's definitely close. It's not bad, especially if you're somebody that doesn't like to test or doesn't just do that often. You can kind of estimate where you are and have that as your starting point or as your training point. But yeah, anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna try and make these a little bit more fun. I'm you know, kind of realizing that they're kind of repetitive and boring. I'm just showing you a lot of sweet spot work. But good news is, you know, heart rate's going down. It's already down where I wanted it to be. I'm feeling great, so we're just gonna keep on pedaling. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Peace.